which is nothing but discussing the 2026 budget proposal and then the 2025 budget amendment. I ask the board, we're going to start on the 2025 budget amendment first, or the 26 budget proposal. I would say the amendment should be the easiest. The amendment is actually only, maybe it's only for the street maintenance expense budget. Over on amend the budget for the overage. Put Jesse on the spot on ditches. I know right now we're we're under on ditches by 5178. I know we've got some culverts at a decent price that we can stockpile. Did that come in under 5178?
More correct.
Border, okay. So we don't have to worry about ditches.
My question. Do we want to charge that out for the first year, or do we want to take a work like help as a inventory? Brett, do you have such a department of that?
No.
Yeah, well,
No, but we have budget in ditches right now to cover the culverts. So we need to pay for the culverts this year out of the ditch budget.
yes. And you'll be getting a bill from Fensco, FENSCO.
I don't get any of those. I feel all those away. Basically, it's all.
Luckily, apparently, I don't throw them away.
That should be in there.
Okay, so street maintenance expenses. So our budget for 2025 is 15,000. Stacy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I show our street expenses of 20,261. That's per.
Yes, that's what I also have.
So if your 2025 actual is active to date on your screen,
I believe this is.
It's to date as of October 20th with everything I have at that point.
So it would appear being on street budget, I would anticipate we won't have any more expenses coming in with the street.
virtually not.
Want to amend the budget for 20,261.40. We want to amend the budget to 22,000. Sure. Yeah.
Quick one.
Let's give us official. Let's go to 5,000. We don't have to be this way. That's should not. All right. So give us 7. That's 7. Oh, 13. Want to make a motion on it? So this is fine. So I will make that motion for the 2025 budget amendment for streets and ditches.
Straight to streets.
Just streets. Okay, ditches are covered on. Okay, ditches are separate. Okay, so I'll make a motion to for 2025 budget amendment, the streets of $22,000.
22 or 23? 22? Oh, I don't.
I'll second that motion. We got a motion from Tom, the secretary. Budget for street maintenance expenses. Raise that to $22,000. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now. We may have. Where we can actually. But what I understand from our town attorney. Then on the budget, then they budget. Must go to public hearing and think that. So.
Well, that's because it's better.
Right. But don't be surprised if you see it. All right. So now we'll move to 2026 budget proposal. I have not on. If everybody has it. Don't have any fun. So flip the Excel spreadsheet that has a comparison from 2023 actual, the 2024 proposed and actual, the 25 proposed, where we are today through October 20th. And then tell that I can add the numbers that we would propose for 20. We could do this one of two ways. Back into the number, so we can go to expenses first and figure out what expenses we want to adjust. And then we're gonna have to adjust the revenue by some of that. Or we can some numbers in the revenue, put in our expenses and see what we can. So revenue. Start at the top and work down?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my sort of thought one. So, yeah, the thing on the top is property taxes in the 2024 and 2025, we underestimated what those would be. And, so we could tweak that upward on our expectations, looks to me like. As we missed it by, 3,000 in, 25. 2024.
So, and I'm betting the property taxes are going down.
Who knows?
So. A proposed property tax revenue of. $2025, we proposed 19,278. Actual 23,442.
Well, and this was a big jump, you remember? It's last 25 was a big jump. So I would, I might tread easy and say 24,000 on proposed, or 23. No. People are still protesting and different adjustments and stuff.
No. Probably not that.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'd stick with 23.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we're at 23,000. Town sales tax revenue. In 2024 is 87, over 87,000. We proposed in 2025 is 75,000. This runs greatly behind.
Yes, it's only through May that we have the data in there.
So I'll just remind. Something I thought of in 2024 where we were 87,000. The hotel didn't open until August. So this year they had a full year. So. I think our proposed is 75,000 for 2025. Short. Well. How tall do we want to make it?
I had 80 punched in, just being a little bit hooked on the conservative side there, but. These are all numbers, that if it comes in over, that's great.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I don't, the revenue side, I don't wanna shoot too high,
yeah,
like, too much. So,
we have 72, 87. Probably stands to think that 25 will be somewhere there. Yeah, that's basically one of the biggest incomes for the town. It is the biggest income for the town. I'd want to err just maybe a little bit on the side of caution, but
so, are you okay with me? That's.
Yeah.
That was the.
Yeah, so this is Tom, and, as we all know, those tax revenues are driven primarily by the books. True. We hope that continues to be successful. But like you said, I don't think that's enough of that people are 80 starting top.
Put it in. County sales tax. We were 11.5, 24 to 10.8.
I'm curious on this number here for 25 actually.
I am too.
That's got me a little puzzled why it's
Why it bumped all the way.
almost triple.
Oh.
I don't. I don't know anything changed in county sales tax.
No, that's certainly the same.
I think the market was. Oh. I. But
So just knowing that your county sales tax rate and town sales tax rate are tied together.
Yep.
Pretty much everything in the town of Pitkin is comprised of those tax rates. Sometimes there's more to it with the lodging tax, but. You know, if you said we went up roughly about 6%, you had one to add 6% to that, all of a sudden, it's done over $50.
They were 12.5.
Yes. So at 750, that'd be 13,250. Just knowing that those are gonna scale pretty much equally.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
Six.
Should I understand about what these? Casey, you know what that's.
I am looking to see if this will give me any clues. Although there's not a lot of supporting information in QuickBooks on what the bills and stuff are, which I'm gonna try and remedy as we move forward so we can find everything in one spot. But off the top of my head, I do not know what those franchise fees might be.
I think that tax correction did.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody in town sells cigarettes.
The only thing I can think of, I don't know if it's possible, is if you combine them on vendors, if they purchase online, have to You know, if they sell it to, if they're in Colorado and they sell it to Pitkin, they have to put the city and the county tax. That's the only thing I could think of is if it's for the on sale, but. So send it to that store in 3 or 4 years from now.
So do we want to leave that at 100 or was it probably tell us?
50 is what I.
That's what I thought was.
I like 50.
I'll certainly take it.
Get that.
Yeah, some of these I wasn't real sure on, I just carried the same number over. It seems to have been somewhat consistent, you know, you look at yeah, you look at 23 actual, 24 actual, as long as we're kind of following in that range, I feel like we're probably okay.
So that's 2025, the actual on that line, $62.87, is that correct?
Yes, I guess year to date.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know anything about that one. I can look it up real quick though.
Stay.
Yes, it does look like that's typically the last quarter of the year.
Yeah.
No, I think that'll be good.
Building.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sure.
County sales, the half percent, right?
No,
And the town sales tax is 3%, 6 times that amount. So it doesn't make sense to find the 25 actual is a day. Yes, $33,000 in that half percent and 21,000 in the 6%.
I agree. I was trying to look it up, but I don't know, probably maybe because I'm not using a mouse, I'm struggling. So I made a note. My guess is that I put a town tax in the county tax category. Because yeah, so I'm just gonna comb through that later this evening or tomorrow and figure it out. And I'll send out an email if it does need to be moved around so you guys know what happened.
just to clarify, count is 1%. So
Oh, okay.
I said the county is 1%, and the town is 3%. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
That's what I was assuming.
Agreed.
Probably a typo or it's maybe placed in the wrong account.
Yep, that's my guess.
Did we go to 13?
250.
Oh,
Just adding 6% roughly what we added to the.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready to go on?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so for 2025 and 24, was $4,000 proposed in building permits. We did significantly more this year, at 8549. However, I think with what's coming down the pipe between the energy code and fire resiliency code, I would expect the building permits. Well, I have two thoughts. One is I think they will drop dramatically after the codes go into effect. And we might have a big push in the spring, the building permits being filed before the police go into effect. Wow. Right, it might be. It might be. Oh. So now that I throw that out there, I don't know.
Well, we could fall back to 23 actual, which was,
Yeah.
in the 5,000 range, but I'm not real sure we'll hit that. That's, you know, we only gonna hit 9 or 10 this year. And I tallied up the remaining ones and see, but think so far we 8,500.
8550 now, I go. Well. Also have some. Pretty good. Events this year.
Yeah, well, the big ones we already got now. So they,
I know, but I'm saying that for those big.
oh, well,
ones
yes, you're absolutely right.
Are reflected in $8,500.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if we'll have this kind of
No, I,
building permits next year, it's kind of different. I like the idea of hanging around 5,500.
I was gonna say 5.
well, on the upside of being low, if the vote doesn't matter.
Yeah. My hesitation was just that. Like you said, with the codes coming in effect, you could have this flurry. But it kind of seems like when you look at the housing market, that everybody starts sitting on the sidelines, waiting on interest rates, and it's not just. I think we're gonna jump into a lot more building. It's issues, so.
5,000, okay?
I think, yeah, that was what 2024.
That or lower, I'm all right with 5, but I'm okay with this one. I think it's good. Five.
It's not a, minimum.
The septic systems.
Well, that's different from building. I don't know how many systems we have. That are gonna be coming up short, or need some work, or need some replacement, or any of that. I just don't know, don't have a feel for it at all.
Terry Drew proposed for $800 last year. We've gone over it on most of the years. I have penciled in $800.
I think that's fair.
Pretty well saturated your OWTS.
What's that?
I think we pretty well saturated our new OWTS.
I don't know, lots to put in more. They might have some repairs. But I'd rather be conservative with $800. Business licenses is another one, I haven't scratched my head. Business licenses, This year was
Oh, yeah.
675.
Which my assumption is these are the potentially the liquor license.
That's what I,
The 675 and five makes sense to me though, because none of our fees are just 75.
Oh, no.
Well, so far, Pitkin does not require business license.
No, but I think this liquor license.
that ain't liquor.
It's, the,
So I picked it at 500. Liquor license renewal.
100, I think. So I had 300, just knowing that there's 3 every year that have to be renewed. And I don't think we're gonna be issuing, we can put more, 3 is pretty reasonable. Businesses have to renew it next year.
Yes.
okay, say that again.
I'm good with 300 based on that budget. Three businesses.
All right. Cause I don't know, I didn't pull it up, to see what the new fees were. Getting started is for the
Huh.
big bucks and.
Yep, so liquor license is 500 for new application.
Ah, okay.
You know, one of ours was this year. And then renewals are $100, so.
So for some reason I have for 25 the Stumbling Moose's renewal was only $75. That's where that
Yeah,
came from.
should have been. So that would make sense why 2 renewals plus the stores.
The new one, yeah.
New license would have been 700, so.
Yeah,
I would just assume that there's gonna be 3 renewals next year. That's.
totally.
Okay. So WPS administration. So. That's the $25 fee we collect, the WPS inspection. I did look up earlier on our OWTS inspection that we do next year. I'm supposed to have 53. So I expect 50 times 25 is 1250.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna just put an even number of 12, 18.
2070, 54. All right with that?
Question, why is the 625 so low with only 38 or whatever it was?
So there were 30 inspections due this year. We should have had by October 20th, we should have been close to 23 probably.
I thought we sent out 14 letters back in April.
30.
30? Oh,
30.
pardon me.
Yep.
Thank you.
So. 23, 579, so we're actually. Still. Still. Okay, on that, well,
So So if you look at 25 proposed, but it's also forms and language turned down in my spreadsheet. So once we get there, that'll update correctly.
Alright. Okay, then we start looking at expenses. I don't know, did I send out the letter from the fire department?
I don't think so.
Take one by. That was way back in my. So, fire department has asked,
Up in there.
Past, we're giving 8250 for the fire department. For 2026, they're asking 10,250. Due to higher cost of utility payments and insurance. They were puzzled in the email. It's because they have liability insurance on the back. They don't have. All of them. So I don't know. I don't know what the higher cost of the building maintenance and insurance are.
We have the liability numbers for that MCA.
Yeah, there's no dollar, that's all.
Comparison. What the utilities were, that kind of stuff. Yep. They were bringing them, actually.
When it comes to health and safety, we're on that important part. Yes. And I certainly think that, but where is he staying with staff? Where they stand with the new building that we've been getting grant for? It seems, because that just seems right for what's in
I have seen absolutely nothing.
Okay, so, clarification, this 8250 that we've been giving, that's half of something. What is that half of?
Oh. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know, for as long as I can remember, it's been 18.
I don't know, but I thought it was like half of what comes in for.
No, I think it's just been out. As long as. Yeah. I do, because the 250 is kind of long list, which is. How far back this person goes.
Well, I was thinking that that number was split with some other entity. But, maybe thinking of something.
Yes.
Yes, I'm not on the board. I am a volunteer and attend a few meetings. As far as I know, the grant deal is upside down. Nothing's being worked on right now. But if you remember your last ballot that you're just turning in now, county, look at those terrible, amazing increases. And I know they received a truck from Dennison County that we could not take unless we could have a heated garage for it. So they're gonna have a lease payment to make the Jake. He allowed them to put in his heated new shed. So I'm sure there'll be a utility off there from for at least. He might donate, I don't know, but I would expect. So I would have zero problem with 10 grand. What were they asking for? I didn't quite hear that.
You're asking 10,250, so $2,000 more. My thoughts, we put it in the budget, 10,250, but I think to be prudent for the taxpayers, we're shelling out their money. To be prudent, I think we ought to ask for a trend of the fire department before we issue the check as to what their utilities, maintenance, and insurance. So we can see that we're on a $2,000 check. I don't think it's for. I have to be careful how I say it. I want to say, I don't think it's, we're just throwing money out. I just think as board members, when we're increasing money, we're doing it we need to see where it's going.
Yes, I agree with that. And since we were involved in that, stop or whatever that was, I can't remember exactly what it was for this, I'd like an update on that grant. At the same time, I'd like, you know, is that too much to ask for? I know we're separate from them, but since we do help fund it, if we do approach the administration, the fire department, if we could, I'd like an update on that.
I don't think it's happening.
Um, Yeah, this is Tom, and I agree with the update thing. Also remind you that, the Pitkin Fire Department fundraiser that they have, it's not a definitive, amount. And I don't know what we've done the last couple of years, what they have done. So that might also be some of the stuff that would be good for us to.
So a trend on utility.
I guess just having some sort of idea of what the increase is going for, if it's just true, just insurance or utilities, I know there's probably some more heating, some to go on. I agree. You got a question in a second?
I don't have a problem with the way things are going up, but I would like to report. And I think it is to our due diligence to make sure we know what's going on.
I think you pencil it in like you said, so I think you pencil it in like you said, but just get some sort of an accounting on kind of where it's headed to, you know, it's estimated there.
Like to remind you guys, we just renewed our homeowners policy. What's the number one question? Fire. Where's your closest fire hydrant?
Oh,
And we lucked out by being able to tell them we had a ditch right across the street from us and 2 blocks from the fire department. So our constituents, I think probably most of us want some kind of insurance on our residences. So, I would not underestimate the influence our fire department has on insurance.
So we're gonna pencil in the 10, 250.
Yes.
I like it. Been back. It's an email to fire department, national citizens. Yeah, building inspectors. So. If I go back up to the collective on building permits. And put it at 5,000. The building inspector gets 65%. Of building permit fee. So it's 3250.
Which is already low.
oh, that's funny.
3250.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Later. I'm gonna throw this out. Throw it out to the mayor and the board of trustees. Yeah. But say, at least for the board of trustees, we've been one board member short for quite a while. Do we want to consider? And we put in the budget, but I know it's going to has to be done. Do we want to consider increasing the pay for the board of trustees and the one mayor?
This is Tom, and I anticipate that I will not be sitting up here in the future. And I think this group is, now you can't pay them what they're worth. Forget that. But, $25 a meeting is, so far as I'm concerned, you can double that. in a heartbeat.
That's not even $12.
Well, preparation time.
Hmm.
I totally agree. Now, with that being said, understand. We, all the board members, myself, understand. If we vote to increase board of trustee pay or the mayor pay, those of us sitting on the board that vote on it cannot get that unless we come off. Come back.
Oh,
So,
So April 20th vote, you're not necessarily off the board.
no, that's correct.
That's what I want to
We
understand.
would have to step down or be out and come back. So, yeah. And I'm fully aware of that. We'll help with that. I think we're remote and I can't. Explain this after we came on. So I didn't get them, so. But I do think after being in this seat. And seeing everything that's involved with the mayor's seat. I don't do it for the money. So $300.
Yeah.
Not one. Right. And then like Tom said, there's a board of trustees, $25. So, just,
Question, maybe Stacy can clarify it for me, but back when we increased, there's the clerk pay, not necessarily Sarah's, but the
Yeah.
clerk.
Right.
Do you remember what % jump we gave?
uh,
I don't remember. When we increased the clerk's pay? Was it 4 times or different? A significant jump.
do you remember when that increase happened? Roughly?
See, this is 20.
Okay, I
I'm
can.
pretty sure that falls.
that's what I was thinking, 800.
Oh. Okay. You guys are right, and it looks like it happened right at the beginning of 24. And it did. It went from 800 to 1250.
This is just a lay person sitting out here paying taxes. I see no reason. Trustee should get $100 a month, then $600. It's just, yeah, this 25 nonsense is discouraging.
When we're talking about this. Gotta remember, and I think Ramon addressed this there a few months ago. It's, it's getting harder. I mean, this is basically a volunteer position. But so are the other, we've got a lot of volunteer positions in this town. And which aren't being filled too. I shouldn't say a lot, but some. And we may have to, in order to encourage, especially some of the younger people, not just the younger people, but some, that would draw more interest, because it does, some of those are, and I sort of to the numbers exactly, but I'm not opposed to increasing the pay for council members, but we need to remember, if we're gonna vote for that, we gotta keep that in the back of our minds. We may need to find a way to encourage more people to step up.
I started this discussion out by we'll start with the mayor and board of trustees. We get some of the others, I've got some other things to say. So I totally.
Well, so anyway, if you went to $100 a month for the 4 trustees and the mayor at $500 a month, that runs you, 10,800.
So Tom, did you count?
Four trucks?
Okay.
That's even one day. And that's a significant increase from,
Yeah, but we've been stealing from the trustees all these years.
Mm.
There's time and
well, we've been, yeah. Well, $25 a month for 12 months, so. the,
what, big paycheck.
Oh, yeah, that's $300. Times four, so if that's 2 times 4 is 12. And 3 times 12 is 36. You got 1,200 plus 36, so you bump at 5,000 there, ain't it? This is gonna double it and make it more attractive. Since I have set up here. I will. Like I've said, if we're not here for the money, and that's, I don't, that would make a difference.
Shows more appreciation.
I think a difference between 25 and 100. But it says, you know, the new guys get the benefit.
Years. And I served on this council for. And. Various. Commissioners. Just say. Appreciate it. I don't want that to backfire. But you have to look forward.
Well, yeah, running over, so the town of Pitkin has been most fortunate compared to some other stories I've heard of other places. And we continue to have a very good financial basis to work on.
Well, look at your growing income versus 5 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at least our incomes are up significantly from 5 years.
Yeah.
And I guess the upside, I was gonna say, the only qualm I have is essentially sitting on a board where you vote yourself a raise, but none of us actually get the raise. And so I have less of a problem with it that way than it would be if we voted on it, and no, you get reelected, you get this new increased pay. I have a real qualm with that, but that's what our federal government does.
So that's why I wanted to clarify earlier here just a little bit ago.
Yeah, I'm fine with bumping that up a little bit. I mean, I know it has to still be. So has to be voted on.
Well, that takes a whole other ordinance. We have to do.
Yeah. Which is fine. Maybe that's a good one to have. And maybe bring up in November, December, and then have a public hearing and vote on it for January 1st or January before it's meeting.
So what do you think? What do we think of the mayor? Oh, what did you say, five?
I said 5.
500, so that's 6,000.
I would not be ashamed to say 100 on those two.
I wouldn't.
I think that's good, and then, like we say, we'll have more discussion and. For tonight's purpose, I think that's done.
All right, we'll plug them in, 6,000, 4,800. Legal, so our, basically our town attorney. Done 20,000 the last 2 years. Our current contract with our attorney is $11.50 a month base. I penciled in is 1,500 a month, that's 12, that's 18,000. But that is no other litigation, we're gonna get it. We have to, we're gonna use our attorney to write a couple of ordinances that we're gonna write. I think that will be a little first order. So I penciled in for a total of 25,000.
Well, yes, my inclination would be to So if we don't spend it, then it's good.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, just knowing that those codes are coming out. There may be some more money spent, unfortunately, so 25 sounds good to me.
Looking at that. Looking backwards. Did look at it. 25 budget, actually. Well, I don't. And takes us down to DHCA. DHCA, we've always budgeted $3,000, so I did reach out to Gary Danon. President of DHCA, just to clarify with him, that is for to help offset some of the costs of electrical and propane and things in the business center. So in 2023, our actual was 880, we were way short of. 2024, we were toward 2,000. So far this year, we've not paid the scale. And thinking that it could be somewhere around 2,000, because we're probably coming in the months. Very small electricity bill now. Gary told me that, their understanding is that that money will only be used for electrical and propane. And we still have room, if we keep that at $3,000, we still have room to help offset some of the costs for trash that they're using. If the trash container is down, Andy Memorial, which is in the PHCA, they pay for that trash service. We have the trash bins over here in the summer, but playground, they pay for that. So if we were to keep it at the $3,000, I think we still have money for electric, propane, and help offset some of that trash. What's that?
Or the salary.
Oh, Starlink.
Yes.
That's right, Starlink is in that amount too.
Probably 4 months ago, I recommended that you added 500 to it for trash service. Cause I've been dumping
Right.
what you said earlier, the memorial gazebo and playground.
The only thing I'm looking at is last year, it was up to 2,000.
Yeah, I heard that.
So we've got a budget of 3,000, so we have room in that money, that budget. If they go ahead and give us Starlink. If they've been doing electrical propane, I believe they dropped. I think that bill has dropped, but then if they add. The crash service too.
Don't think you can over bless them.
Okay, I agree. I think we're pretty fortunate to have this facility used and. Unfortunately, they haven't tried this. Yeah. But, so what are your thoughts? Should we leave it at 3,000? Bring it up a little bit, leave it at 3,000.
Let's say leave it at 3, it's kind of hard. My thought is, I'm assuming they give us the invoice at some point,
That's what I.
and, not saying, oh, just go ahead and give us an invoice for 3,000, but, the town uses this building and there's a lot of community events and stuff that they handle trash and everything else for, and I don't think it's about bad use of some money there. I think everybody benefits from it, but
I'm amazed it's that low
I am
for
too.
for the services we get from this building.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure, we wanna go lower, I'd be happy, I'm okay with them bumping it. I think electricity's going up according to our, and so I'd at least say it through whatever you guys think.
I'm with Jared, he's saying agree.
You know, with increase, the way you think, I'd be happier to suggest 3,500.
Stacy, we haven't gotten anything.
We don't have to use, I mean,
Oh, no, I agree. We said 3,500, we don't use it. No,
Yeah, I haven't gotten anything from
we
it.
haven't gotten anything from it. Well, we might now since I thought earlier.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, JC just sold, and I've never seen a new company take over an old company of what they lowered prices. So there could be increases on electric and LP.
So we wanna put 35 or 3 in there.
Let's say 35.
Okay.
Let's see. I,
But it's not like you're saying with that extra money, but just give y'all some more.
Yeah,
That's
right.
right. Cover what they would actually made,
that's correct.
can you invoice?
Okay, so I'll put in 3,500. Enforcement, I know. Last year we put enforcement 6,000.
I'm not sure what that little note is.
Yeah, there's a note.
Yeah.
It doesn't compute either.
15 hours.
I mean, I'll take that if that's what you guys want to change it to, but
Well, that's not yours.
oh, okay, I understand. I was like, I'll take it. Sorry, just kidding, just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no actual for. Okay, it was 3150 and 24 and 25 for the proposed budget, but it wasn't in the 23, 22.
I was thinking that was all. 24, but. Down we look.
These.
East half, just considering we've never used. This knows that. Who knows, we that this year, when you can always. Basically. But set aside a, $6,000 expense that we got on account for somewhere. When we haven't ever used it.
You have one event, it's gonna be over 1,000.
Well, I know, but we don't have an enforcement agent.
And that's all this was for an enforcement agent. That's what this.
Yeah,
Line items for was to pay a person 31.50 to 42.15,
15 hours a month.
15 hours a month. That was for a full year. Realistically, if we try to get an enforcement officer right now, by the time we went through passing an ordinance and hiring somebody, we're at least 6 months of notice. That's funny. Posting of the ordinance, that's a minimum of 3 months. Maybe 40, but put it at 3,000. See if we go in that direction first part of next year. Do a budget. That's what.
No, this is Tom, and in my opinion, if we go that direction, 3,000 or 6,000. So space holding is a good idea. Is it every other year or can we stretch that?
Who would that audit be coming from? Is that a Sursa thing or no? Oh,
Just looking at the actual,
there you are.
I think it's.
Yeah.
Okay. Just say all the things I've found in the files have all been just filing for exemptions from the audit. I have yet to run across actual audits. So,
Yeah, like 22 proposed was 4,000, 22 actual. Like 1,000, 45, or actual 4,000. So it seems like it's almost.
well, I was gonna say the 1,000, we paid him $1,000 this year to get exempt from the audit from 24. So you could be right that it's every other year. Yeah, that's probably.
Twenty-two was 4. Was 4,000.
Yeah. Yep, that's what I was seeing.
Maybe better to find the way prices increase, do you think? This will be our year.
Well, it was 4,500 proposed in 24, and it was 4,000 actually. Every year it's been 4,000.
I'm still like,
22, 24, 24, or sorry, 22, 20. They were 4,000s.
okay. 45.
It's down on the size, they say bump it to 80 or 60 because.
So 25 is probably.
Yeah, so 23, I'm just looking at this, not sure what's going on in 22, but 23 actual was $20, 24 when we proposed $40, 24 was $20, 25 was $100. We don't have that in. I don't know, it looks like things on $20, $40. Yeah, it's still 3 times, but the actual has been in 23 and 24. So.
Dues, fees, and license. Looks like it's about 800, 974, 740. Actually 1,000.
Yeah, it looks like we've overestimated on what actually comes in from that.
But 2024 was 974, so.
Not by much.
Right. So I don't go. I feel like doing.
Yeah, I'd rather we had 1,000.
Yes.
Election expenses. So last year for 25, we were anticipating 2 elections. 24 was close to 1,500. So In 24, I know we did not have an election.
Yeah, this has 22 proposed, was 1,100, 22 actual, doesn't have a figure, so I'm assuming there was one. I think I'm say. Yeah.
Elections are expensive.
They are if we have one.
It's not
Like,
a,
yeah, so I vote.
it's not a special election. Special elections are what drive the cost.
If we don't have a vote, assuming no ballot.
Correct. But once you go to a ballot, then you gotta have,
It's nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
that person.
Yeah.
That's, that
You can hire a consultant, that's what drives. the rate.
Conservative. Give it to them. She would want to be responsible.
Yeah. I'd say. 1,500 or 2,000. What that covered in the package is if Sarah was the election official. And actually. And that's
I remember Stacy might need some training that might cost us something.
that's true. April election. As Sarah do it as an election official with some training, or we'd have to go to an outside, or if we don't have an election. that is- If we budget, either $2,000 or $3,000 for some training and states if we have that election. And she can be the election official. We can go that now, if we don't have. We don't have to worry about it, or if we have to hire an outside. Or else. I hope people.
I was gonna say, put 3,000.
No, I was gonna say 3, 4, so does that sound okay? About that,
Did you say three?
3,
Yeah, just doubling basically the last, if I was outside 25. The 23, 24 was proposed at 1,500, so, you know, potentially some training plus, you know, election official expenses or whatever. You know, rather not do a budget, but I think that's maybe a realistic number. Doesn't seem like people are just knocking down the walls to volunteer for a trustee position. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
I'll put it three. Let's see, workers' comp, that's been. Stage 1250. So I've got a.
Yeah, I just saw 1250.
Insurance.
Well, so this just, curiosity, insurances seem to be rising somewhat. We've been at 1250 for a while.
That's what workers' comp.
Yeah, with workers' comp.
Okay.
Does the town's umbrella cover the fire department as well?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. In that, it's on the back of the sheet, we got the fire department, it has their certificate of liability insurance.
For their equipment or for them as well?
The commercial general liability. And And I guess it's sort of professional. So it looks like they have automobile lab, commercial general liability. I would guess since they're all volunteers, there's no workers' comp.
Yeah.
The property and casualty, I just bumped it to 4,000, just like I said, because insurance is going up. Generally, despite the fact that from 24 to 25, it actually went down a little bit. But figured 4,000 was probably a safe number. I'm
Yes.
Sure, so
I'll put it on 25 and 45. It's been out for 24 and 25. Somewhat close on that in 24 and 25. So.
utilities on top. Like it's been just over 600.
Yeah, I think 600.
Mm.
We were pretty close to 24 as well, at 595. 23 or 603, so maybe we heard about that 650. But
Well, remember, we might have more special mailing things that really adds cost. Toward that.
As in OWTS,
Yes, sir.
that'll come out of OWTS.
Oh, okay, not, I thought, oh,
Should come out.
I'm sorry.
We got a fee, we collect a fee of $45.
Okay.
Okay, office supplies. Usually run right at 1,000.
yeah, that's what I have there.
My interim.
Like Medicare expenses, but we need to bump that up.
Mhm.
I hope that 1,500. Unemployment expense to $50.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I just left it at 50.
Portable restroom. Back in 850. Like 24, it was 850. This year it was less. I think that's because we got fewer restrooms.
Yeah.
So do we want to keep that at the 850 or do we want to bring it down? 700.
I prefer to leave it at 850, just for, things when it's community events and stuff that the town can kind of pitch in.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I'm gonna second for it, you can improve it.
I wonder why it was so low this year, because we had big increase in tourism. Anyway, I'm
I
like,
think we got
believing,
fewer toilets
I know that.
It's too, each into town.
for last, for the year before. Out of the town hall,
We had 2 and 2.
2 and 2 for each year.
I should wait one to Pitkin down hall.
Well, let's keep it at 850.
Yes.
Noxious weed management.
Maybe a guy could knock that to 450, want to trim a little bit, just because in 22 actual, 23 actual, 24 actual is $353.
How much did we put out this year for that? With our IGA? Did we do an option sheet IGA?
We did.
Got the guy we see in town from.
That's what I. or 50, they're not.
People, oh, we.
That doesn't apply to Rick Miller.
Publishing and recording costs. We're gonna have more first part of the year for publishing.
Yeah, yeah, 229 for the year. I had 300 in there.
After what our attorney said, I'm kind of fine with at least
On,
for the publishing, she talked about them better published, like, we have some things, some catching up to do, don't we?
well, but what we did get clarified is we can, after the ordinance is passed, we can publish by title only.
And that keeps it down some, you know.
Oh, yeah, not the complete. We did verify that was voted on and passed,
Yeah, yeah, I
So
remember that.
it's
So you think we can keep it low, keep it what it is?
I don't know if we can keep it on free.
I'm good with them.
Yeah, I mean, historically, we've been at 249, 176, 140. This seems to be a little bit behind budget.
We ran all that. Zoning expenses. 150 is government, or government. This year we. Right after 150. Can't say as I can tell anybody exactly what that 150 is for.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Thanks for digging. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, nice.
It is, could be office supplies for zoning board,
Hmm.
and that asked Sarah about it last year. And receipt for.
Uh-huh, yep, ink and paper.
What do you want?
I'd say stay with one. Okay, so our environmental health. That 150 that we had in there was for. That's. One where our post would come from. If we needed in for the environmental health agent. Any paper, ink, something like that, mailings, comes out at 150. So. We did. Our mailing this year apparently did not go to. That account. It probably. Up above.
Yep, I think I put it in the OWTS something expense.
I'm gonna throw this wouldn't actually go in here, but that should go up above in. Fees for services,
Uh,
but when we throw this thought out, we've been. Asking for environmental health agent. Since April. We collect $25 for administration fee for each OWTS inspection. what if we took some of that money and we rewarded environmental health agent for each inspection that they got?
I'm certainly not opposed to that.
You said that would basically go into fees for services provided, probably sanitarium, I'm assuming. Further up.
Yeah, it's a services provided sanitarium. That's the old.
Yeah.
Standard provided.
Just sanitary home.
Yeah. So what are some thoughts on?
Well, my thought is some financial incentive. The total, it can be done.
Well, so here, I look at something else as I was thinking of this. So this year, next year, there's 53 inspections due. 28. I'm sorry, 27, there's 54 inspections due. And 28, there's only 3. 29, there's 6 due, 30, there's 7 due, 31, there's 16 due. Then the cycle starts all over again. The 27, 23. So there's gonna be 2 years that if we find an environmental health agent, they're gonna be pretty busy with over 50 inspections each year, and then it's gonna slack off. So my thought, and just go with thought, but if we collect $25, we pay $20 for each inspection. That keeps the tracking, and the cost for the tracking, and everything in the fees like.
Yeah, that's not much, but when you think about how much time it takes, you should be expecting in the paperwork. Right?
Yes, but also that $25. Our town clerk is involved in that. So, isn't that correct?
With the collection of the money and that process of collecting the money. For it. That's also. True.
Just saying.
So, well. The town retains $10, but that's 25, and it's offset. Well, 15 for the.
You don't want to short, I don't want to short put $100 short.
So the clerk does,
But my question is how much would be? Because I watched it, but I'm in.
yeah, so with what the clerk is paid. 40 hours a month for the additional for every hour. Oh, yes, the clerk's compensated with it.
Okay, so my question is.
None of that 25 technically goes, but
Okay.
right now, the $25 goes to
I kind of like that.
VHA. Yes,
For conversation, I would not go less than the percentage we are sharing with our building inspector. Is that 60%?
Well, 20 out of 25.
That's the lowest.
it's only 1625 would be 65%. Like the $25 bill.
So I would not go under that.
Well,
This is my thought.
if you would, if 20, you wouldn't be under. Oh. What the building inspector.
They're not.
No, not to say, no. Lots bigger numbers, but building inspector.
Building inspector.
What is that?
The 20 is not too much. When you think about
I don't think it is either. Not.
Hey,
That's-
especially where we are in the city. Here,
There can be quite a bit of both. housekeeping with.
That's what we're saying, and even going for the inspections. We may have to,
So we will put that further back up at semester.
And the street, we come back up in the same period. Yeah, because propose. Fifty-three times the system. About six. Okay, but if we pay $20 and we got all 53 of them. Next year,
I don't know what kind of time we're talking, but we may be down here in the weekend talking. Paperwork and then going, I don't know, I mean, I'm not done the job, so I don't know, but. We need,
A good sanitarian will sure bless you, environmental health board. Somebody's on their toes with that job of responsibility and documentation will certainly help the environmental health.
so we're talking, are we talking about the same person?
Sure.
Or the same. We used to know. No, I'm fully, especially since we to get me. And what we know in the past. And time commitment.
Well, let's look at the yeah, 1,068 is in national medical law.
Yeah.
Recent resolution ordinance or something recent.
2016.
82. 82. Yeah.
Did you cover that after you put that house in?
It should have been. It should have been going.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't, the county motion isn't. Yeah, it's either 55.
Yeah. 60. 36. What's that? Not leave for you. So what do we want to put in the environmental health account? Do we still want to leave 50 there?
I think we still leave that at 150, because that's.
Yeah. Office file. Okay.
Thank you.
One more one.
Okay, so the next one, you want to look like 15 off. Spreadsheet. Okay. Mayor manager meetings. I don't know if I have a good manager. I don't know if it's every year. Or.
Let's leave it at 250 and.
See what.
Volunteer banquet expense, 2024, they can came to the conclusion that the same volunteers that were doing this one would have to do the banquet, so.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So we got. It wasn't for the time. Okay. I don't know what any new plan for the new plan. But I don't know what that is. And they haven't collected any. No. Okay. So this is revenue, street fund equity. I
Okay.
have no idea how those numbers came about.
Yeah, I was looking the same thing. I had a red highlight here because I wasn't sure. From fund equity, where that comes from.
Well,
It sure was high in 23.
I will say, whatever it is. If you look at proposed versus actual, they always match. So I don't know.
Is there someone, or does that fall out of the fund equity?
I assume so.
Maybe part of how the budgeting passes, we're pulling money out of the fund equity account for now.
fund equity. Huh.
Interesting. 2025. Is we have the actual.
Fund equity.
Where the fund equity, the HTF.
Sounds good.
Property tax income from streets.
I will use that's
That's what I'm guessing.
primary.
Oh.
It's one week.
But how can proposed and actual be the exact same dollars?
That's the question.
And then look at the actual of 23 is over double.
Yeah.
24's that. I don't understand.
If they can, these go straight across all the plan. These vary. This one's the same. Shoot. It's more information. That'll back to 1% estimating. It looks like that's usually a pretty good estimation. With the 11,750 and that. It sells back to 1% estimated. Seems to be up to 2024 is 10.
What was the anything we proposed to
On
the
the sales tax.
those points?
HUTF fund.
Yeah.
23 proposed is about 20,650.
Bring the coach station more budget.
Okay.
Street maintenance on expenses.
I put 20,000 in here, just knowing that. I think we, oddly enough, from 24 to 25, we went down $10,000 in the proposed budget. I think, you know, obviously can't pull short this year, so I can split the difference, put 20,000 in there. And the maintenance expense.
As far as I know, I kind of expect gravel price to it, so but definitely fearful of night 4 on this new company. And
Yeah.
those
I'm fine with going back to the 24 number, and putting 25 in
Yes.
there. It, once again, it gets back to the tax dollars, everybody benefits from that. So one of the few things the town does, and everything benefits from. Everything, I would have more meetings, with less people permit. I don't want to do a budget. No, just you fit your. Private, most of it, it's either, it's just my thing off of my. Well, it's fine, well, you're the budget, you know,
Have, yes, but
And the reason it's so hard is you, the street commission.
I think it's 25. I had it's 25. It's not where we were, I think 24. Good luck, though.
Do it. So, things to do with it.
Yeah. Hey. Snow pine, I think we're safe, 30.
yeah, I put them together.
And ditches. Oh. We're showing 4821, but we got some culverts.
Yeah.
Help us out next year. So,
I have put 5 in there just so that. You like the last, and then it's 23 after. If you're looking on the high side, but I think there's a lot, like it's 23.
there's quite a bit of ditches out of 23. There wasn't one done in 24. I think we got to started.
I believe we are going to have more footage on ditches in the spring of 26. Than we had last year for sure. There's just a lot of silt and problems. But I'm sure gonna go with 10 grand, but I don't think 5 is gonna be enough.
But then, think out loud. Since we rated culverts, taking care of this year for next year,
Yes.
what if we split the difference to 8,000 for the ditches?
What about if you haven't paid for the labor?
Is that? What is that? Footage that you're talking about, another ditch that you, that. Not for this, our vision. So I'm ready to go higher than. Like 10 myself.
Thank you.
I have to run for this year. Yeah, this is too. You don't want to. That's safety.
Tim?
I prefer that.
This is one of those things that I really don't know. What I do know, is the more culverts we put in, the less open water we've got.
Well, yes and no, I can argue both sides.
Well, yes, me too.
So, yes. But we have several streets that this culvert smashed in, and I expect to be putting 2 20-footers in where the 120s are today. Because it was running over the ends and smashing them.
She's mostly talking about right now, well, it's not so much. It's
I'm
each go.
talking about- That was me.
But we're. Or we're just, I thought we got mostly replacing some of our. Not
That's fine, it's gonna be a team,
I think we stayed within the 10.
it might take courage, there's a lot of people out here. It might take courage, people to volunteer this year. Springtime, there's. You know, state work that's Friday, like the next year, decent that.
We'll get the ball department 10-5 if they don't put in this.
Might have really
I appreciate it. Volunteer.
No. Okay. I don't see it's more than both of them. Okay. Town hall. The part of this town hall. On the finances. Yeah. I'm gonna guess. Property tax income. It'll be about the same. I like that, even in the space.
Yes.
And then. This town hall other income, that is from the grant. There. Still. So the state is getting paid, it's still 28,000. Okay. But that's what they, now. That's good. That's gonna stay the same. The value is down to the expenses. For the repairs and maintenance on the town hall, they're 35,766. The difference of that is what the town is responsible for. $7,000, yeah. Now, here's the down. Grant.
And
Okay. Let me find my paperwork. Okay, in the original grant in the budget. The preservation activities was for 28,800. That's the 28,824. That's up. We can get from the grant. The architect and engineering fee is $1,400. And that's for Bill, for this, we come back out and basically we have Bill to make sure it's being done as designed. He has agreed that $1,400 will be sufficient. Might even be a little bit less, but not a lot. The archaeological monitoring was $1,000 in that original grant. When we brought Justin Lawrence out, he was the archaeologist, he's actually for the Forest Service. He made a comment then that we will not find an archaeologist to do that for $1,000. But he was typically charged $10,000.
Oh, my goodness.
Any overage we have on this grant is up to $10,000. So we went back to Jacob Donnie, who is now over the things. Because he dug into several grants similar to this. And so he saw all of the archaeological monuments in these 8.
My goodness.
So we did tell from the grant administration, we're at 2283. He said that typically goes to whoever is administering the grant in the town. So I asked him if we could use some of that money or that towards archaeological monitoring. And he said he didn't see that would be a problem. So he can offset some of that cost. Because right now, Corey there is administering the. And we don't get taken off anyway. I didn't think that anything we charge for 2283. And there's also a 2283 contingency that we possibly could use toward the archaeological. But if where I'm going with all that is, we knew we would be on the hook for the difference. The match was 89.42, but we were on the hook for. And that could go up as high as 18,000. If we have to pay 10,000 for the archaeology. I'm not positive that we're gonna use this in one yet. Hey, I don't know if we'll do it. B is Jacob recommended with the list that he sent, and maybe we try to go to a different archaeologist that maybe wouldn't charge quite. So that's, I want to bring that out because it's a full intention that the work will be done on August of next year. And then we have, maybe, we need to have a mature budget.
So
So,
it's looking like the shortfall is it 9 or 10? So we had 1,000 in there for the,
we have 1,000, yeah, the shortfall was in the. That basically was taking the town repairs from 35,766 to 44,7. Which we have to cover into the overtime.
it's under expense, I mean, you put it in there and you have to figure out how to balance that.
I think we'll move some of the contingency around and absorb well, half of that.
And then if you get someone to do it for 8, not 10.
Yeah.
Got the best case scenario.
Okay, so let's plug that in. Utilities. Given utilities, we're not going down.
Mm.
Let's say we stay 400 on that.
Yeah.
Capital improvement. So we've always, it looks like we've always posed 4,000. The capital improvements would be for painting, the painting on town hall, one side. The paint starting to flake off of you. So they was.
No. So question there on the 25 actually, why is it essentially a negative 27? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking to figure that out. That confuses me as well. Okay, let's see.
Was that work that was scheduled that was not paid, not
Town hall,
completed, so didn't get paid?
It's good.
capital.
What's the name?
improvement. Yeah. Town hall. All right, I just gotta find it on here. Capital improvements. Town hall, there we are. Town hall capital improvements, okay.
That's 2,700 would be correct.
Yes. So we actually made a payment in January to SB Design and Drafting for 2,700. But then there were 2 journal entries made for 2,700, which brings it to a negative. And I don't know why that is, but I can dig in. I can call Sarah, see what was going on. Really? Yes. Oh.
They can eat more, dig into that soon. Works and Rec.
Yeah, I think we'll, yeah, but let's start the fund equity and everything, that'll clear that out.
And then revenues from that fund equity. Maintenance. On expenses, work and Rec maintenance. Oh, not the whole load. 24 is 2,500, we only spent 645.
What'd you do?
Proposed was 3,950 for this year. But we're accredited.
I'd say pay back at 25. I mean, that's one of those things like. I don't know if Josh back in the administration has plans, but I mean, that's probably a pretty good start with the parts of that. Yeah.
It's new equipment, that was the period.
Right? But, you know, when you get something and you talk to the next day. First, I have to ask the question because I wasn't here at the time, but, I recall on one of your agendas, I think it was the agenda. We had a discussion about the television network. And I never saw, heard anything after that. So I wonder if you could tell me, you know, with a really brief summary of that discussion, was it the county, Lewis, was it Florida, is what became of that?
Yeah, what, if I recall correct. That draft. Had advised that they were disbanded. The over year, I think. And they came back to the town, they do details on the side, so they needed the towns. And said that if you wanted to pick that equipment up to take it over, they would donate it to the town. But upon research on that equipment, it was over 20 years old, over life. So we hold that draft along with every other town. We didn't want the equipment, like we wanted the equipment and the property cleaned off. We're still supposed to do that.
I talked to her today about this very thing, because that was supposed to be done by November 1st, the cleanup there. So that it doesn't just fall down and look junky. And she said, well, it's still gonna get done, but not on the timeline that they had said, because they did sell all of this equipment. It's all over the county. Every little town, they sold all of that equipment to somebody to jump it out. And, you know, they contracted out that job instead of them doing it themselves. So of course, it's soon complete. But she said it probably won't get done this spring, you know, until next spring. But it should get done. It's still supposed to get done. It's in the contract that it's to be done aesthetically pleasing things. So they're not, it's a lot of done. So, and you know, the whole thing, I don't know if you used over the air waves TV, that's what we did. And we went to those meetings last week, but what? In fact, you know, all the money's going up to Preston Butte for that, or a large amount for a new indoor swimming pool. And so there just weren't enough people in these little towns anymore, because so many younger people use other things. So we actually were able to, for $40, get a Roku, like it's called, stick it on your computer if you've got internet. And you can watch more. So I don't think it's a bad decision. Any of our.
Question. I'd like to bring up something that may or may not involve the budget we're working on now, that's kind of up to you guys. But so Pitkin today is one of the towns probably in the country that have no overnet, so, yeah. So basically, we're stuck with whatever you can get either to the Dish Network, Direct TV, or things, various. Here's my. It's not necessarily a proposal that I would really like the board to consider. And that's why I've asked me about what they get and what's there, what sounds like front there. So that's gonna add some cost to it, but I would like the board to consider providing over the air television service. But there's a couple of things that kind of go with that. One of them is today, you have sitting in the bank over $21,000, maybe 21,700. The exact amount that can only be used for recreation. Television. It goes back to what used to be a private service, was providing this television all around the county. And it was run essentially on donations. Then we came to the district, which created the taxing. So, a couple of things that go along with that, we do have some money and some income. Regular basis from the basis from the law that constitutes the recreation and income. The second part of that, and this is something that I have to tell you that from a legal standpoint, I'm guessing about. And my guess would be that in the same room that I think we can get the answer to two questions really from your attorney. One is, what would it take for the town Pitkin to withdraw from the county metropolitan recreation district? If we want out of that, we're getting nothing from them now. They were providing television service. All that money going into recreation for mostly just the youth, not just the youth, and some the guns. None of us have any here, and I don't expect any of it, the recreation will. So I'm just making a suggestion, ask the attorney about it, what would it take to withdraw? And the second question, on top of that, create our own metropolitan recreation district. There's a kind of thinking. Maybe even broader if you wanted to, because the service, like the services the town could provide, would be used for a larger area than just the thing. You know, you guys have things on the same town, and that's what's important, I think, at this point. That I think those key questions. The attorney, the legal attorney, probably can answer without their. I would really like this board to consider that. And, you know, in many ways, I'm speaking for myself. But I have to tell you that, you know, the part-time job that I have, that all of you know about. And it's both for you. About. Yeah. It's part of the conversation, especially this summer, where we were looking forward, it's not much. I mean, it's because it's totally different. It was really bad. Wrong. So, and, yeah, I don't know if you need to put this in the place now, but I would consider it in the budget in the future, if there was any place to set to make that. So that's why I'm doing that.
Thank you. Well, just curiosity question, so you said withdraw from yeah, how many cities, towns, which, you know, Gunnison and Preston Peak, who else is in that? Yeah, well, yes. It's statewide.
No, honestly, this is the county.
This.
There's Lake City. All of us, not all of those things. Oh, you're TV now. I mean, it's from. They no longer, there's no. But for $40 a month, we can get.
They all affordable. And they all have cable. Gunnison, Preston Peak, and now Preston.
But most, what we learned this winter, is that for $40 you go home, get away. Then, if we, and actually, but it's just not feasible, like for the town. Any household, I was just shocked to know this, because I am not a technical person. For $40, you can go get this little antenna. If you have any kind of start, any kind of internet. And at least I know. It's so easy to get for nothing. It doesn't cost the same thing, but $40.
I was paying. Yes, yeah. And basically, I went down to the most basic service that we have. That's 3 to 4 years ago. And of course, every year, that's why it's gone up. And it's at a point now.
I'll be happy to be.
If internet does not include local channels, you pay for it. And again, ABC, NBC, CBS, if you want to get Fox is another one. None of those, the Denver station is not. difficult thing for us. None of those are available without paying one of the very city that for it. And so that's why I'm asking if now we can consider taking over and providing what we have.
I'll be glad to talk to you about what we were today. It's good things.
Everything we think of. Sorry. I felt, you know, because there is, I think it's tough to be able to be a percent. This is where it fits. This is where it fits.
So just one thing on that. Hold up for the kind of assessor side. Where. See the percentage that comes out of the property tax. And when I bring this up, because it's actually a question I had about the cemetery district. So I went to the county assessor's office and said, okay, anything that's on here. If it doesn't contain the Pitkin, can we get out? And I was told by the county assessor in the office, is that anything that's on here, like the Metcalf or the cemetery district, Western County, those were all items that went to vote by all the people in the county. So we're tagged with the Gunnison County Metcalf district at 1.7%. My taxes goes to that. And we can't just pull out of it if we want to.
Well, that's what I
Is what people.
don't know, but I'd like to hear with the cat, because, you know, a comparison. We see, we are also a part of the Gunnison Fire Protection District, right? And there are places that town pulled out of the county fire protection district. So, you know, what the assessment says, I'm not sure is,
May not be
what my
totally legal. So is the board want me to make certain stipulations?
Yeah, I have no problem paying part of the property tax or something that we get zero benefit right now.
Yeah. Totally. Okay. All right, well, I've got that written down in my.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you for your time as well.
okay, so I'm gonna jump down then out of Parks and Rec expenses. Cemetery. Looks like it comes from the fund equity. Plot sales. Do we have an estimation on plot sales? Cemetery board. Got a wild.
Those plot sales should be, Casey, you should have those today.
Estimate.
For income.
Oh,
So that's one is you estimate high and hope you don't build them.
We've been doing 1,200, so.
The plot sales, you know, that, you never know, and that really varies.
They're good year, bad year.
But, well, a lot of people buy ahead, we have sold, how many have you sold, Jesse, this year? It's getting harder, and Jesse's about the only one. And he tries to take Rachel with him because she's like, thank the Lord that she get a young person that's. So, but the plot sale, you see, something. But the plaques. Is that listed?
Life's on your food.
We, that's been a good fundraiser. The plaques on the memorial wall that we.
But it kind of looks like a gross, estimated that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
1,224, actually, the 700.
Well, I was talking about the plaque sales,
500.
800, 120, 200.
We just even.
Little fallacy. 5410-2. It's not a plot, they're actually listed in our framework as spaces. We have blocks, lots, and spaces. And then we have the memory wall plots. I don't see anywhere, in any of our information, do we, Jared, Because of the plot?
No, the way we're set up, but that actually should say, space, say.
So, it's,
Right.
Plot. But and
Which clients did?
we still, we still need to build the fence, probably need people to help with the volunteer stuff anymore. Richard and Jess and James Sharpton, thank God for James and Lois. But we're all getting old and we can't do what we did. So we do appreciate the town's 2000.
so the cemetery is
So,
not
so
self-supporting.
the sale, the plot, the space sales and the plaque sales. That's money comes from those things that we sell. And that saves in the smoke, that's all the cemetery expenses, but normally it doesn't cover it. Definitely, definitely got to get. Do we have other expenses, Jess, besides the fences?
Our big expense looking at us is the fence. And that's because we just don't have young bucks that can get it up.
Because they're just so
If
volunteer.
we get a fence up, it's gonna be hard. It's a.
We'll go back to the revenue.
Yeah, let's look at these, but
Revenues on the plot sale on the plots. So this year, we're not showing any plot sale. Last year, we showed $700 for it.
There have been, Stacy's looking it up.
Okay.
Well, I think I might have that in my paperwork on my desk, because it's not in QuickBooks. So I'll be going through that tomorrow. I have a crazy busy day, but Wednesday before our next meeting, I'll dig into that and just kind of maybe reach out to you, Jarrett, and see if the numbers I find make sense to you, if that feels right.
Yes.
So we're gonna hold off. For the
Problem. When we get that, Stacy, we can go through our receipt book and show that everything is.
Oh, good. That sounds
Okay.
great. Yeah, we'll do that.
expenses, when we look at maintenance, we're budgeting 2,000. But nothing's coming in for maintenance expense.
Oh, true.
That's because old parts don't get anything done. So we're all spending money.
Well, yes,
Like that.
it does get done. This year we didn't even work with, but there's thousands of dollars. Work up there, it's not. Volunteers. But people came in and a lot of those volunteers and that's our old. So we're always trying to get more help with us. But a lot is getting done there and has been done. So I think our numbers like this ain't done for the volunteers. But when this comes up, maybe the cemetery committee should see if the council and the town would be interested in getting a nice fence for them. And then we really need them.
So do we want to try to set some expenses here, or we want to see what other? So. We're gonna propose in 2,000, I'm not saying stuff's not gonna be done. But we're not, the bills are coming in there.
We understand that now. The town owns that cemetery, but we understand.
What if the maintenance we put in $1,000? Yeah.
Placeholder.
Yeah, basically.
Turn on, yeah.
What would really keep the 2,000 and then in the year that we are able to hire somebody to put in X number of feet of fencing, be able to go back and tap into these 2000 for less.
Yes.
I. Oh, I get. No. If we can get somebody just put in 100 foot of it or 1,000 foot.
Go by spending
Again,
money,
it's-
folks, and
James and I, Big Sparks, and Arthur Donald, and Harold. We put in a number of corner posts. And you guys dig up a post hole, you know how many hours we put in, and it doesn't show very much. But we're trying to get the corners marked. So if we can, get a team to come in and build the things.
Maybe I'm correct, the wooden fence in the corners of the capital improvements.
installation.
Well, it's something like our streets, our culverts, capital improvement. We've been proposing the expense. So I don't care how,
So are we repairing fences or putting up?
well, they have gone by the wayside.
What fences?
There was fences at one time.
Years ago, those,
Decades ago.
they were barbed wire or smooth wire, anyway, smooth.
We don't want ball. Or that's what the committee said, boys.
Anyway. I got those $2,000 and thought about it. We would go, they would be, so can you keep it at 2,000 for now? Please.
Well, this really brings up tonight, we've not talked about. I know that there are companies that build fences for ranches. And so I think this is something that we ought to, this is a cemetery. Oh, yeah, but I like to do that.
The capital improvements was 23 was shorted. And what happened to 24, 25 was shorted.
Those are signage primarily, right, Karen?
Now where, what?
The
Yeah.
capital improvements. Okay.
Yes, that's the, yeah.
Doesn't look like we've been using any of the proposed other expenses.
I think even those sign improvements, that came out of that. 2000 was my mistake. You know, Stacy?
I don't, I can
Yeah.
see,
Heifers. What's it called? Wood products.
expenses. Let me look.
I don't.
Anyway, if we can slip it to 2,000.
Yes,
What about the 1,000 on the?
Yep, it's wood products.
I don't want. If this goes back quite a few years, budget was done different. And, especially those 1,000 and 2,000. They were put in there to look at the future at a time when the budget basically carried over from year to year. And so there's building with the fund to, at some point, we put in all the fences that's going to cost 5,000. But now the budget, basically, you start from scratch every year, so. But that's for that.
Sense.
Especially mentioning, there used to be more places that have a capital expense fund. And the idea was to get that up, so we have to, like, you could do something.
So What do you think, Joe? 2,000 on top and scratch for improvements and expenses? Line items?
The cap is 1,000. Right, you said 2,000.
Other expenses.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, some point, well. But still, we get, excited about building penetration. It's never the things, yeah.
And
I think you're doing six.
as far as the CPF revenues.
Yeah.
But they like it carry over.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just copied from this.
$76. Excuse me. Thank you.
These statements, we're supposed to be carrying 15,000. Actual 2024 was over that. So we're short. Of the year.
I'm assuming that's probably something that comes over a little bit too. Yeah. You can do those across the all calculations. It's in.
Oh. So it's for. Oh, that's a.
Makes it show just because some of those we have blanks in there, account, all those yellows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we was those dollars back. Okay. So we get some yellows, we gotta figure out. We.
Oh, yeah.
So where this goes next, then is. We gotta fill in the yellows. We get some information. from Stacy. Then in our November meeting, going up. This has to be complete so we can do a public hearing. Along with our budget amendment. We just did. Does that some public hearing. Get that out. November meeting, we also have to vote on a bill. That's to be done by state statute by December 15th. We'll have to vote and approve the bill levy first, so we have the funds to pay our budget. That all has to be done by December 15th, so we don't have to set up another special meeting. Trying to have this all done by the November.
Copy that.
Absolutely, I was sending this file out.
I tried to write it all down, but sometimes my handwriting is fast, the way to believe in the meeting, so.
Mr. Bill,
Franchise fees are right-of-way agreements that are with the utilities that are providing services with the town.
Okay.
That comes back from the power company, the phone company, just whatever. It comes from us as individuals. We get taxed on our power and it comes back through there.
Just so you know, in the past, and maybe this is changed with new people and the treasurers, but not that. In the past, virtually every year, the December regular meeting has been scheduled just before that due date, because you're not likely to get the information from the assessor's office before the November meeting.
or the bill.
For the mill levy, yeah. So that's been pretty much standard practice in the past, is we gotta wait for the mill levy, so you do your November public hearing and everything, but then you gotta set a special meeting just before that deadline. Because you won't have the information. Well, sometimes you have to plan on things and.
I just, my understanding of talking to the attorney and senate, I mean, is that you just have to pass the mill levy. The county assessor may not know what that amount is.
That's it, you don't know the amount, but you can text the mill levy until the assessor gives you the number.
So, Stacy.
Yes.
Another task. Would you reach out to the county assessor and see when you typically have that one?
You gotta do a text maybe. You'll be things done, and I don't.
And that's also part of the ownership tax that the town receives as well. That's on properties that the town owns that they
Franchise
don't pay taxes on. But then the mill levies help by us paying our property taxes and the town getting theirs back.
And what people said, what people say, please.
Contact the county assessor. See when they typically can tell us. The mill levy.
Mill levy, okay.
What will she? All right. Wow.
You covered a lot of ground. That's not too bad.
We gotta quit saying it's gonna be a quick meeting. I think that's our. There you go. That's better. That's better. That's better.
For this proposal, on that meeting, I have a slide deck that I went for the training. And that does reference some of the code and I give actual 40-some pages of the code. It's the, my intent for Wednesday night was to try to go through that slide deck at a real high level, so everybody just sees what the code is. There are some appendices that we can adopt if we wish to, that's above and beyond one of our resiliency. I'll show you what's on the Pitkin bar. I have feelings on those. I think
We're just gonna have to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
See, if whatever takes you get through.
Yep. And then, so do you want me to print off the code for you?
Is
so
it
we can
big?
Now
How
reference
many
it.
pages is it?
There goes those clerical expenses.
Uh-huh.
$174. Yeah.
When you got that on your computer, it's whole Windows 4.
Mm.
I hate that. Wait, that.
Good idea.
Yeah. So real quick.
Thank you, Chris.
Beetle kill paper.
I do think they should bring that one in. I'll print off. But, Alright. Okay, so we're, as far as we can go on the budget, we're nice. I'll entertain a motion.
This is Jeremy, we adjourn.
Then I'll second that. All in favor, say aye, to adjourn. Aye. Thank you. Here, honestly, probably. We're not, we're gonna be back there.